more than 500,000 miles and counting.
We have 15 to 20 cars come in through the shop a day, and very, very few have over 200,000, let alone over 500,000 like Edna's car.
Some engines don't just last, they refuse to die. While modern powertrains struggle with electronics and complexity, a handful of legendary motors are crossing 500,000 miles, 600,000 miles, and in some cases even 1,000,000 miles without a rebuild. These aren't myths. These are real engines with real owners proving what true durability looks like. Today, we're counting down the 12 engines that routinely go 500,000 plus miles when treated right. Number 12. Toyota 2UZFE 4.7-liter V8. If you've ever wondered why old Toyota trucks and SUVs still sell for shocking prices, this engine is the reason. The 2UZFE 4.7-liter V8 is one of Toyota's most overbuilt motors, designed during an era when durability mattered more than horsepower, and simplicity mattered more than squeezing out every drop of efficiency. It's a cast-iron block, V8 built to take abuse, heat, towing, off-roading, long-distance hauling, and years of neglect, yet still keep going. The secret behind its longevity starts with its design philosophy. Toyota engineered the 2UZFE for vehicles that needed to survive deserts, mountains, extreme climates, and daily heavy-duty punishment. That meant thick cylinder walls, a strong crankshaft, and internals that simply don't give up. The cast iron block alone makes it far more durable than many modern aluminum engines, and the low-stress operating RPM keeps where extremely low. Toyota didn't chase high compression or aggressive tuning here. Instead, they chased reliability first, performance second. And that philosophy paid off. Owners routinely report engine lifespans between 400,000 and 700,000 miles. And some commercial use vehicles have crossed even higher numbers with only regular timing belt changes, good oil, and simple maintenance. One of the reasons it lasts so long is because it runs cool. The cooling system is oversized, the oil passages are wide and robust, and the engine rarely strains itself even while towing or climbing steep grades. This low-heat, low-stress behavior is a major reason the 2UZFE seems to age slower than almost any other V8 from its era. Another benefit is how forgiving the engine is. Even owners who admit they skipped maintenance for years often find their 2UZFE still running without knocking, smoking, or losing compression. There's no finicky turbo, no direct injection, no complex electronics, just a near-indestructible, naturally aspirated V8 paired with a conservative ECU tune. And when something does need attention, parts are widely available and mechanics know how to work on them. The vehicles that use this engine, Toyota Land Cruiser, Lexus GX470, Lexus LX470, Toyota Sequoia, and early Toyota Tundra, have built a global reputation for going anywhere and lasting forever. In many countries, Land Cruisers with 300,000 miles are considered just broken in. It's an engine made for real-world survival, not showroom specs. Whether it's crossing deserts, pulling trailers, or simply racking up highway miles year after year, the 2UZFE remains one of the most trustworthy engines ever built, and a perfect start to our list of motors that routinely break the 500,000-mile barrier. Number 11. Honda J35 3.5-liter V6. The Honda J35 is one of those engines that quietly built its legacy. It's not the loudest, it's not the fastest, and it certainly wasn't designed to impress on paper. But in the real world, where cold starts, long commutes, family road trips, scorching summers, and heavy loads test engines every single day. The J35 has proven itself as one of the most durable V6 engines ever made. This motor powers millions of vehicles, and many of them are now cruising well past 400,000 to 500,000 miles without major engine work. What makes the J35 so long-lasting? It begins with Honda's classic engineering approach: balance, smoothness, and low friction. The J35's rotating assembly is beautifully designed for long life. The engine revs smoothly with minimal vibration, which means less stress on bearings, mounts, and internal components. Honda avoided overcomplicating the design, and that simplicity shows in how few serious failures these engines experience even at sky-high mileages. Its cooling system is extremely efficient, which helps it avoid overheating, a common death sentence for many other V6 engines. The J35 also handles heat cycles very well, something vital for minivans and SUVs that see constant acceleration, stop-and-go traffic, and hot weather use. The heads and block are engineered to expand and contract evenly, reducing long-term wear on gaskets and seals. That's why blown head gaskets are almost unheard of on these engines unless they've been severely neglected. Another reason the J35 lasts so long is because it's forgiving. Even owners who admit to missing oil changes or using cheaper fluids still report high-mileage success. The engine's tolerance for old oil, cheap filters, and less-than-perfect maintenance is surprisingly high. Of course, proper care extends its lifespan dramatically, but the fact that the J35 can survive neglect speaks volumes about its durability. The biggest mileage champions often come from Honda Pilot, Honda Odyssey, Honda Ridgeline, and the V6-equipped Honda Accord, many of which are workhorses in daily life. These engines frequently spend years carrying full families, towing small trailers, or being pushed hard up steep grades. And yet, they continue running with the same quiet smoothness they had when new. One thing Honda nailed with the J35 is its timing belt system. It's reliable, predictable, and easy to service. Replace it on schedule, keep fresh oil flowing, and this engine almost always rewards you with years of trouble-free driving. Many mechanics say the J35 is one of those engines you rarely see blown up, simply because they're not known for internal failures. Across hundreds of thousands of real-world examples, the story is always the same. The Honda J35 just keeps going. Whether it's powering a 20-year-old Odyssey, still hauling kids to school, or a high-mileage Ridgeline that's towed boats its whole life, this engine's quiet reliability has made it one of the most trusted V6 engines of all time. Number 10. Toyota 1GRFE 4.0-liter V6. When it comes to engines that refuse to quit, the Toyota 1GRFE is a modern legend. This 4.0-liter V6 has powered millions of Toyota trucks and SUVs, especially those known for heavy off-road use and long-term dependability. It's the engine that lets a 4Runner climb mountains all day, survive desert heat, crawl over rocks, and still run quietly at 300,000 miles as if nothing happened. Real-world owners routinely report 400,000 to 600,000 plus miles on original internals. The heart of its longevity comes from its incredibly smart engineering. Toyota built the 1GRFE using a low-stress, big-displacement philosophy. Instead of squeezing out high horsepower through complexity, they focused on strength. The aluminum block is paired with a durable cast-iron cylinder liner system, preventing wear even under constant heat and load. Its overbuilt cooling system is oversized for the engine's needs, which keeps operating temperatures stable even in extreme climates. Another major advantage is the engine's timing chain system. Unlike belts that can fail if ignored, the 1GRFE's chain is designed to last the entire life of the engine. The variable valve timing system, VVTI, is also incredibly reliable, rarely experiencing failures compared to the more sensitive systems found in other brands. Toyota kept the electronics simple enough to be durable, yet modern enough to deliver smoothness and torque. One of the reasons this engine is beloved in the off-road community is because it thrives under abuse. Sand, mud, steep climbs, low-range crawling, towing, and long idling don't bother it. The oil pump is strong, the oil passages are large, and the bottom end is stout enough to handle constant load without fatigue. Whether in a stock 4Runner or a heavily modified Tacoma used for overlanding, the engine almost never complains. Mechanics often point out that the 1GRFE rarely suffers from common engine killers, overheating, head gasket failures, or oil starvation. Even high-mileage engines maintain great compression numbers, and when issues do arise, they're usually minor: coil packs, sensors, or gaskets, not internal failures. Owners who perform regular oil changes often hit 500,000 miles with nothing more than standard maintenance items. This engine powers vehicles known for their long-term value: Toyota 4Runner, Toyota Tacoma, Toyota FJ Cruiser, and global market Hilux Surf/Prado models. Many of these are still used as taxis, government vehicles, or expedition trucks in the world's toughest regions. They're chosen not for style, but for engines that won't quit when lives depend on it. The 1GRFE represents everything Toyota does best: simple, rugged design paired with reliability-focused engineering. It's an engine built for people who need a vehicle to last decades, not years. And in a world full of turbocharged complexity, this naturally aspirated V6 stands tall as one of the last true workhorse engines capable of crossing 500,000 miles with confidence. Number 9. Ford 7.3-liter Power-Stroke Diesel. If you ask any diesel mechanic which engine will outlive the truck around it, the Ford 7.3-liter Power-Stroke is almost always the first name you'll hear. This engine isn't just durable, it's practically unkillable. Built from 1994 to 2003, the 7.3 Power-Stroke became famous for powering work trucks that hauled, towed, idled, and ran non-stop for years. Many of these engines have crossed 700,000 miles, 900,000 miles, and even 1 million plus miles with only routine maintenance. The secret to its lifespan begins with its foundational design. The engine block is thick, heavy, and massively overbuilt. This was during an era when Ford and Navistar weren't trying to squeeze out high horsepower. They were trying to build something that could pull ridiculous loads all day without failing. The rotating assembly is strong enough to handle far more torque than the factory tune delivers, which means the engine spends its entire life operating well within its safe limits. That alone dramatically reduces wear. One of the most defining features of the 7.3 Power-Stroke is its hydraulic electronic unit injector system, HEUI. Unlike modern high-pressure common rail systems, HEUI injectors are less sensitive to fuel quality and far easier to maintain. They can run on fuel that would destroy newer engines, and the system is famously tolerant of heat, cold, and long idling sessions. This is why hundreds of thousands of construction trucks, ranch trucks, and farm trucks used the 7.3, because it simply didn't care. Cooling was another area where this engine excelled. The cooling system is oversized, featuring massive radiators and heavy-duty components built to deal with non-stop towing. Even on steep grades under load, the 7.3 rarely overheats. And because diesel engines generate enormous compression forces, Ford made sure the head gaskets, bolts, and internals were strong enough to last decades. What makes the 7.3 Power Stroke even more legendary is how cheap it is to keep running. Parts are everywhere. Mechanics know these engines inside and out, and repairs are straightforward compared to modern diesels packed with complex emission systems. No DEF, no DPF, no SCR, just a simple, durable diesel that runs clean enough by old standards and lasts far longer than anything built today. Owners regularly report using these trucks in brutally demanding environments: snow plowing, hot desert towing, commercial hauling, oil field work, and farm duty. Many trucks spend half their lifespan idling, which would destroy other engines, but the 7.3 just keeps chugging. Even abused examples with poor maintenance often surprise their owners by continuing to run smoothly. The 7.3-liter Power Stroke powered the Ford F-250 and F-350 Super Duty, and those trucks have become collector items today. Clean, low-mileage examples sell for higher prices than some brand-new trucks, because people know what they're getting. A million-mile capable diesel engine built before emission systems complicated everything. In a world where truck engines have become more powerful but less durable, the 7.3 Power Stroke remains a symbol of what happens when engineers design for longevity above all else. It's not fast, it's not quiet, and it's not refined. But if you want an engine that can easily cross 500,000 miles, the 7.3 Power Stroke stands among the greatest ever built. Number 8. Lexus/Toyota 1 UZ-FE 4.0-liter V8. When Lexus launched in 1989, they didn't just aim to compete with Mercedes and BMW, they set out to embarrass them. And at the center of that mission was an engine so flawlessly engineered that many of the original units are still running today, with 500,000-plus miles and near-factory smoothness. The 1 UZ-FE isn't just durable. It's one of the finest production V8 engines ever built. What makes the 1 UZ-FE truly special is the level of precision that went into its design. Toyota's engineers treated this engine like a high-end aerospace project. The block is aluminum, but the internals are forged, balanced, and built to handle abuse far beyond what a luxury sedan would ever experience. The connecting rods are cold forged, the crankshaft is beautifully machined, and the tolerances for each rotating component were kept incredibly tight. All of this results in an engine that runs with almost no vibration that normally causes long-term wear. The 1 UZ-FE also uses a timing belt system that is known for reliability. Replace it every 90 to 100,000 miles, and the engine rewards you with nearly endless life. The cooling system is well designed and evenly distributes temperature across all cylinders, reducing hot spots and minimizing stress. The engine also runs at a conservative compression ratio and doesn't chase high RPM power, which means its internals rarely experience extreme stress or heat. Another reason this motor lasts is because it was built before the era of complex electronics. While the 1UZFE was advanced for its time, it avoided the fragile components and high-pressure systems found in today's engines. The simple port injection, robust ignition system, and durable sensors make it extremely reliable and easy for mechanics to diagnose and repair. Owners consistently report remarkable longevity. It's common to see LS400s and SC400s running smoothly with 350,000 miles and original internals. Some taxi fleets overseas have hit 600,000 to 700,000 miles. There are documented cases of 1UZ engines crossing 1 million miles with proper care. And even engines subjected to hard driving, such as drift builds and race swaps, still rarely experience bottom-end failures. The 1UZFE isn't just long-lasting, it's smooth. Even at high mileage, these engines idle quietly and respond quickly. Drivers often describe the engine as feeling silky or buttery, even after decades of use. This smoothness reduces strain on drivetrain components, which further extends the overall lifespan of the vehicles that use the engine. Found in the Lexus LS400, Lexus SC400, Toyota Celsior, and Toyota Crown Majesta, the 1UZFE helped establish Lexus as the gold standard of reliability. It showed what happens when engineers are given time, money, and freedom to create something that prioritizes durability and refinement over aggressive power. The 1UZFE remains a masterclass in over-engineering. A V8 that doesn't just hit 500,000 miles, but does it gracefully. Many modern engines aim for efficiency and performance, but few, if any, can match the long-term reliability of this legendary V8 number 7. Mercedes OM 617 Diesel 3.0 liter. When people talk about engines that never die, the Mercedes OM 617 is usually the first diesel mentioned, built from the mid-1970s through the late 1980s. This 3.0-liter inline-5 diesel became famous around the world for one simple reason. It refuses to stop running taxi fleets. Relief agencies, farmers, and daily drivers have pushed these engines past 500,000 miles, 700,000 miles, and well into the 1 million-mile range, often without ever opening the engine. The OM 617 wasn't designed for speed. It wasn't designed for performance. It was designed to survive unimaginable conditions: war zones, deserts, mountains, freezing winters, and decades of non-stop use. Mercedes approached the engineering of this motor with the mindset that it needed to run anywhere, on fuel of questionable quality and with minimal maintenance. Because of that, everything inside it is massively overbuilt. The engine block is thick cast iron, the internals are heavy-duty, and the rotating assembly is designed to handle constant load at low RPM. Diesels already enjoy long lifespans due to high compression and slower revving. But the OM 617 takes that advantage to the extreme. Its pistons, crankshaft, and connecting rods are far stronger than any power output it produces, meaning it spends its entire life operating at a fraction of its stress limit. One of the OM 617's greatest features is its mechanical fuel injection system. There are no fragile electronics, no high-pressure pumps, no sensors that shut the engine down. Fuel is delivered mechanically, meaning as long as the mechanical pump is functioning and diesel enters the system, the engine will run. This is why these cars became favorites in regions with unreliable fuel quality. The engine simply doesn't care. Cooling is another strong point. The OM 617's cooling system is incredibly robust and capable of sustained operation in extreme heat. It's not uncommon to see these engines idling for hours in hot climates without overheating. Even when run low on coolant, something that would destroy most engines, the OM617 often survives. Parts availability is excellent because Mercedes built so many of them, and the engine design stayed very consistent across its life. Mechanics praise it for being simple to work on, forgiving of mistakes, and extremely durable even with low-cost maintenance. These engines powered vehicles like the Mercedes W123, 240d, 300d, and W126, 300SD, cars that still have cult followings today. Many W123 taxis in Africa and the Middle East have odometers that have rolled over multiple times. 1 million miles isn't a dream with the OM617. It's the expectation. While modern engines chase efficiency with turbos and electronics, the OM617 stands as a reminder of what mechanical over-engineering can achieve. It's slow, it's noisy, and it won't win any races. But if your goal is to drive 500,000 miles without worrying about the engine, few in history compare to this legendary diesel number 6. GM LS V8, 4.8 liters / 5.3 liters / 6.0 liters. Few engines in modern automotive history have earned a reputation as strong and widespread as the GM LS V8 family. Whether it's the 4.8 liter, the 5.3 liter, or the 6.0 liter. These engines have proven themselves in millions of trucks, SUVs, vans, and even police vehicles. Their secret? A brilliantly simple, rugged design that consistently pushes them past 400,000, 500,000, and even 700,000 miles when maintained well. In the real world, it's not uncommon to find LS engines that outlast the body and frame of the truck they're powering. At the core of the LS family's longevity is its pushrod design. In a world where many manufacturers switched to complex overhead cam engines with multiple timing chains, variable valve lift systems, and fragile electronics, GM chose to keep things simple. A pushrod V8 has fewer moving parts, lower friction, and less complexity, meaning fewer things that can break. This simplicity contributes directly to the LS engine's exceptional durability. Another major strength is the LS block's construction. These engines use a strong aluminum or iron block, depending on the version, with deep skirt architecture and cross-bolted main caps. This creates a rigid structure that resists wear and handles high mileage, towing, and heat cycles with ease. The rotating assembly is extremely robust, often capable of handling horsepower far beyond what the engine produces in stock form. Because of this strength, LS engines rarely experience bottom-end failures, even at extreme mileage. The LS engines also have a legendary ability to tolerate neglect. Many truck owners admit they stretched oil changes, towed heavy loads constantly, or ran their engines at high temperatures. And the LS kept going anyway. It's not ideal care, of course, but it shows how forgiving these engines are. Proper oil changes, coolant system maintenance, and replacing common wear items can easily push the engine past 500,000 miles. Another factor is parts availability. Because GM built millions of LS engines, parts are everywhere and affordable. Almost every mechanic in North America knows how to work on them, which keeps long-term ownership simple and inexpensive. Even major repairs, like replacing lifters or resealing the engine, can be done relatively cheaply compared to other brands. Real-world stories tell the truth. LS engines power countless Chevrolet Silverados, GMC Sierras, Chevy Tahoes, Suburbans, Yukons, Avalanches, and even 2,500/3,500 HD trucks. Many of these vehicles spend their lives towing trailers, hauling equipment, or running as work trucks. Despite years of punishment, their engines remain reliable and smooth. Police fleets, fire departments, and government agencies have also relied on LS-powered trucks and SUVs, specifically because of their long-term reliability. The 5.3-liter version, LS4/L59/LM7/etc., is especially famous for hitting 500,000 miles with nothing more than routine maintenance. The 6.0-liter versions, LQ4/LQ9/LY6, are known for surviving extreme abuse in heavy-duty trucks. And even the smaller 4.8-liter LS engines have earned a loyal following for their longevity and smoothness. In short, the LS-V8 family proves that smart engineering beats complexity. These engines offer a perfect blend of durability, simplicity, and real-world toughness, making them some of the longest-lasting gasoline engines ever put in American trucks. Number 5. Toyota 2JZGE/GTE 3.0-liter i6. Few engines in automotive history have reached mythical status like the Toyota 2JZ. While most people know the turbocharged 2JZ GTE for its insane tuning potential, both versions, the GE and GTE, are legendary for one thing above all: they refuse to die. These engines were engineered so far beyond what Toyota ever asked of them that many stock units easily reach 500,000+ miles, and some push past 700,000 miles without needing a rebuild. The secret lies in the 2JZ's basic architecture. Toyota built this engine during a golden era of over-engineering, when reliability mattered more than cost-cutting. The foundation is a massively strong cast-iron block, thick enough to handle extreme cylinder pressures. This is one of the reasons the 2JZ can handle enormous horsepower increases. But it's also why the engine lasts so long in stock form. The block simply doesn't flex, warp, or fatigue, even after decades of heat cycles. Inside that block are some of the most robust internals ever fitted to a production inline six. The crankshaft is forged and beautifully balanced. The pistons and rods, especially in the GTE version, are designed to withstand boost and high stress. Even the non-turbo 2JZGE uses extremely durable components that wear slowly over time. Toyota never intended these engines to run at their limits, so they spend their entire lives under-stressed, which is a major reason they last far longer than other engines. Cooling is another area where the 2JZ shines. Toyota designed an excellent cooling jacket layout that evenly manages heat across the entire block and cylinder head. This helps prevent hot spots, warped components, and gasket issues, common problems in lesser engines. Oil flow is also exceptional. The 2JZ's oil pump and lubrication system are so effective that even high-mileage engines often show excellent oil pressure and strong compression. The 2JZ is also known for its outstanding smoothness. Inline-six engines naturally run with perfect balance, which reduces vibrations and long-term stress on bearings, mounts, and internal parts. This smooth operation contributes directly to the engine's ability to rack up jaw-dropping mileage figures without significant wear. One of the most impressive things about the 2JZs is its tolerance for abuse. Owners who admit to poor maintenance, stretched oil changes, cheap fluids, lack of cooling system care, often still report the engine lasting far longer than expected. Properly maintained engines, however, become near lifelong companions. Many old Lexus sedans with 2JZ engines still run like new after 300,000 to 400,000 miles. And high-mileage Supras with original internals are surprisingly common. Found in vehicles such as the Toyota Supra, Lexus SC300, Lexus GS300, Toyota Aristo, and several JDM market models, the 2JZ built a global reputation not just as a tuner hero, but as a durability masterpiece. Even in modified cars making double or triple the stock horsepower, bottom-end failures are rare. In stock form, the engine delivers incredibly smooth power, with virtually no drama. The 2JZ stands as one of the finest engines Toyota ever built, combining old-school toughness with engineering precision. Whether naturally aspirated or turbocharged, these engines consistently prove that true durability isn't an accident. It's the result of thoughtful design, premium materials, and an era when automakers still cared about building engines that would last a lifetime. Number 4. Cummins 5.9-liter diesel. The Cummins 5.9-liter isn't just an engine, it's a legend in the diesel world. Found primarily in Ram heavy-duty trucks from 1989 to 2007, this engine built its reputation on unmatched torque, towing strength, and perhaps most importantly, a lifespan that regularly exceeds 500,000 miles. In fact, many trucks running the 5.9-liter have crossed 700,000 miles, 900,000 miles, and even 1 million-plus miles with their original engine block and rotating assembly intact. When people say a million-mile motor, they're talking about this one. The secret of the 5.9-liter Cummins begins with its architecture. A straight-six design, inline-six engines naturally produce less vibration than V8s, and the long-stroke, low RPM nature of the 5.9-liter means internal parts experience far less stress. Cummins didn't chase high horsepower or quick revs. This was an engine designed to pull hard at low RPM, stay cool, and last for decades. That slow, steady operation is a major factor behind its extraordinary longevity. The block is cast iron, thick, and incredibly strong. The crankshaft and connecting rods are overbuilt for durability, with tolerances that allow for massive cylinder pressure. This is why the 5.9-liter is famous not only for lasting forever, but for handling enormous power when modified. While many owners keep them stock for reliability, tuners regularly push the engines to 800, 1,000, or even more horsepower, and the bottom end still holds together. That tells you everything about how well built the engine is in factory form. Fuel delivery systems differ depending on the generation. The early 12-valve engines, 1989 to 1998, used the ultra-reliable mechanical P-pump, which is nearly bulletproof. The later 24-valve engines, 1998.5 to 2007, use electronic injection systems that are more modern, but still far less complex than today's high-pressure common rail setups. Across all years, the injection systems are built to last, and when they do fail, repairs are straightforward. Another reason the 5.9-liter is beloved: it runs cool under heavy load. The cooling system is oversized, and the engine's design allows constant towing, climbing, and hauling without overheating. This makes it the engine of choice for farmers, ranchers, contractors, and long-distance haulers who rely on their truck every single day. Many trucks equipped with the 5.9-liter spent their lives pulling massive loads and still surpassed 500,000 miles. Maintenance is simple and inexpensive compared to modern diesel engines. There's no DF fluid, no diesel particulate filter, no complex emission controls, and no fragile electronics that cripple the engine. Routine oil changes, good fuel, and basic care are all it takes to keep the 5.9-liter running for decades. Even trucks that have been worked hard and poorly maintained often keep going longer than expected. Real-world examples come from Ram 2500 and Ram 3500 pickups, many of which still operate in tough environments: construction sites, farms, towing businesses, and hot desert regions. These trucks aren't garage queens. They're everyday workhorses. And yet, their engines remain among the most reliable ever produced for heavy-duty vehicles. Whether you need torque, towing power, or an engine that will outlast nearly everything else on the road, the Cummins 5.9-liter stands as a benchmark of diesel durability. It is not just a long-lasting engine, it is a symbol of what heavy-duty engineering used to be. Simple, strong, and built to endure a lifetime of real-world punishment. Number 3. Honda K-Series K20/K24. The Honda K-Series, particularly the K20 and K24 engines, is one of the most respected engine families of the last 25 years. Known for its smooth power delivery, exceptional efficiency, and incredible durability, the K-Series has earned a reputation for routinely crossing 300,000 to 500,000 miles with ease. In fact, there are countless real-world examples of K20 and K24 engines surpassing 500,000 miles on original internals, making them some of the longest-lasting four-cylinder engines ever built. At the heart of the K-Series reliability is Honda's world-class engineering. These engines were designed using a high-strength aluminum block. Paired with a forged steel crankshaft and durable pistons, the rotating assembly is lightweight yet exceptionally strong, reducing vibrations while maintaining long-term durability. Honda's focus on tight manufacturing tolerances ensures minimal internal wear, even after decades of hard use. One of the biggest advantages of the K-Series is its chain-driven timing system, which eliminates the need for regular belt replacements. The timing chain tensioner system, when maintained with proper oil changes, often lasts the entire life of the engine. This not only reduces long-term maintenance costs, but also removes one of the most common failure points in other engines. Another reason these engines last so long comes from Honda's mastery of thermal management. The cooling system is extremely efficient, allowing the engine to run at consistent temperatures even in hot climates or under heavy load. That temperature stability prevents the warping, gasket failures, and long-term stress that can shorten engine life in other vehicles. The K-Series is also famous for its exceptional tolerance to daily abuse. Many engines spend years in stop-and-go traffic, are revved hard by younger drivers, or are used with minimal maintenance, and yet they keep going. Properly cared for engines, of course, last the longest, but even neglected K-Series engines often continue operating long past the point where other engines would have died. Oil consumption is typically low on these engines, and the oil pump design ensures consistent lubrication even at high RPM. This is one reason the K-Series found popularity not only in economy cars, but also in performance vehicles and even race builds. The engines handle revs extremely well, and their durability under stress speaks volumes about Honda's design philosophy. You'll find the K20 and K24 in some of Honda's most popular and most reliable vehicles: the Honda Accord, Honda CR-V, Honda Civic, Honda Element, and Acura models like the TSX. These vehicles are known for long-term dependability, and the K-Series engine is the backbone of that reputation. Mechanics love these engines because common issues are simple and inexpensive to fix. Starter motors, sensors, or valve adjustments, not catastrophic failures. Even high-mileage engines often show excellent compression numbers, proving how well they withstand wear over time. In an age where small turbo engines dominate the market, the naturally aspirated Honda K-Series stands out as one of the last great simple engines, free from the complexity, heat, and pressure that plague many modern power plants. It delivers efficiency, power, smoothness, and longevity all in one package. The K-Series is proof that when engineering, simplicity, and balance come together, an engine can last not just years, but decades, and easily cross the 500,000-mile mark many times over. Number 2. Toyota 22R/22RE 2.4-liter i4. The Toyota 22R and 22RE engines aren't just durable. They are the definition of indestructible. These engines powered Toyota pickups and forerunners through the 1980s and early 1990s, and today, thousands of them are still on the road, with 400,000 to 500,000 plus miles on original internals. Some have crossed 600,000, 700,000, and even 800,000 miles, often in trucks that lived hard lives off-road, hauling loads, or surviving decades of rough use. If you wanted an engine that simply wouldn't quit, the 22R/22RE was the answer. The foundation of its longevity begins with its old-school bulletproof design. The 22R is a cast-iron block with an aluminum head, built during an era when simplicity and over-engineering mattered more than efficiency or power. The block has thick cylinder walls, and the internal components are oversized for the mild power output they produce. This conservative tuning means the engine rarely strains itself, preserving its internals for decades. The 22RE, introduced later, added electronic fuel injection, which improved reliability even more. The fuel delivery system became cleaner, more consistent, and far better at handling a variety of conditions. These engines became even more resistant to wear thanks to improved combustion and better fuel control, all while retaining the rugged bottom-end strength of the original 22R1. Of the biggest strengths of this engine is its simplicity. No turbos, no direct injection, no complicated electronics, just a straightforward four-cylinder designed to run forever. The timing chain system is robust, and while guides eventually wear, they are inexpensive to replace. And unlike many modern engines, the 22R doesn't suffer from premature internal failures. Even when abused, overheated, or neglected, the engine often survives longer than expected. Another key to the 22R/22RE's long life is its ability to handle extreme environments. These engines were used globally in regions with poor fuel quality, limited maintenance resources, and harsh terrains, from deserts to mountains. Despite this, many of these engines still run smoothly after decades of hard labor. That global reputation, built on reliability and simplicity, turned the 22R family into one of the most trusted engines in Toyota's history. Cooling is also excellent. The 22R's cooling passages are wide and well-designed, preventing hot spots and helping the engine maintain stable temperatures. Under heavy load, oil flow is consistent, and the engine rarely suffers lubrication issues even at high mileage. Mechanics often say that if a 22R has oil and coolant in it, it's going to run. These engines powered vehicles like the Toyota pickup, Hilux, Toyota 4Runner, Toyota Celica, early models, and several global market utility vehicles. The trucks that used these engines are still some of the most desirable used vehicles for those looking for dependability in remote areas. Many old Toyota pickups with 22RE engines have odometers that stopped working decades ago but continue to run strong, leaving owners guessing how many hundreds of thousands of miles they've actually traveled. What makes the 22R/22RE so legendary is that it perfectly embodies Toyota's old philosophy. Build something simple, strong, and impossible to break. In a world full of complex modern engines, the 22R and 22RE stand out as reminders of how toughness and longevity used to be engineered into every component. This is an engine you can trust in the middle of nowhere, an engine that can sit unused for years, get a fresh battery, and start right up. It's not just long-lasting, it's one of the most durable internal combustion engines ever created. Number 1. Volvo Red Block engines, B230, B21, B23, etc. At the very top of the list sits one of the most legendary engine families ever created, the Volvo Red Block engines. Whether it's the B21, B23, or the later B230, these engines have achieved a reputation that borders on unbelievable. They routinely cross 500,000 miles, 700,000 miles, and 1 million plus miles, often with minimal repairs. Some of the most famous high-mileage vehicles in the world, Volvo 240s and 740s, are powered by red blocks that just refuse to die. What makes these engines so special? It starts with their architecture, a massive cast-iron block paired with one of the strongest crankshaft and rod assemblies ever put in a consumer vehicle. Volvo built these engines during an era when safety and durability were their top priorities. They weren't just designing engines for daily commuters. They were engineering power plants that could survive Sweden's brutal winters, thousands of cold starts, and decades of heavy use. The internals are incredibly robust. The crankshafts are forged and nearly indestructible. The pistons are heavy-duty, and the cylinder walls are thick enough to withstand decades of wear. Because the engines operate at relatively low RPM and are conservatively tuned, internal stress is minimal. These engines rarely overheat, rarely crack, and almost never suffer catastrophic failures. Cooling is another area where the Red Block shines. Volvo engineered the cooling passages to distribute heat evenly, which helps prevent hot spots, warping, and gasket issues. This design has kept many high-mileage Red Blocks running with excellent compression even after 30 or 40 years of use. The water pumps and thermostats are simple and durable, and even if neglected, the engine often survives overheating events that would destroy other power plants. The Red Block's simple fuel and ignition systems also contribute to its longevity. Earlier versions use carburetors or mechanical fuel injection, while later models use Bosch electronic injection systems that are reliable and easy to troubleshoot. There are no fragile sensors, no complex timing systems, and no turbocharged stress, unless you own a turbo model, which still holds up remarkably well thanks to the engine's extremely strong bottom end. These engines were installed in vehicles that became icons of reliability. The Volvo 240, 740, and 940, as well as various international models. Many of these cars served as taxis, family haulers, rural work vehicles, or commuter cars for multiple generations. Owners often joke that the car will fall apart long before the engine does. In many cases, that's exactly what happens. The body rusts, the transmission gets tired, but the Red Block keeps running. Mechanics love these engines because they're easy to work on. Valve adjustments, timing belts, water pumps, and accessory components are all straightforward to replace. And because the engines were built so consistently over decades, parts are widely available and inexpensive. Even major repairs, like head gasket replacements, are simple compared to modern engines. What truly makes the Red Block legendary, though, is that it thrives under conditions that destroy other engines. Long idle times during cold winters? No problem. Short trips every day for 20 years? That's fine. Harsh climates, poor maintenance, low-quality fuel? The Red Block keeps going. It's not just durable. It's overbuilt in every way that matters. In a world full of engines that struggle to reach 200,000 miles, the Volvo Red Block stands as proof of a different era. An era when longevity wasn't optional. These engines aren't just long-lasting. They've become symbols of automotive immortality. Engines like these aren't just mechanical parts. They're reminders of a time when durability mattered more than marketing numbers. Every motor on this list earned its place not through hype, but through decades of real-world miles, cold starts, heavy loads, long road trips, and owners who expected their vehicles to last a lifetime. These engines didn't chase complexity or shortcuts. They relied on strong blocks, simple designs, quality materials, and engineering that focused on longevity above all else. Whether it's a diesel built for towing, a V8 made for smooth luxury, or a simple four-cylinder designed for everyday commuting, each of these engines has proven that 500,000 miles isn't a dream. It's achievable with the right combination of maintenance and smart design. Many of them go far beyond that number, crossing six figures again and again without ever needing major internal work. And in today's world, where modern engines can feel overcomplicated and fragile, these legends stand as a reminder of what true reliability looks like. If you're driving one of these power plants today, you're experiencing a piece of engineering history. An engine built not just to run, but to endure. And if you're looking for a vehicle that can go the distance, these engines are some of the best long-term investments ever made. Because at the end of the day, it's not the newest technology or the highest horsepower that defines greatness. It's how far the engine can take you and how long it can keep going. These are the icons, the marathon runners, the half-million-mile champions, and they'll be remembered for one simple reason. They just don't quit.